Welcome back, Game with King family, to another F1 Clash video. In today's video, we're going to be giving you guys our boost guide video for the Christmas GP for your opening round and your final round. So let's jump on into it. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you're not yet subscribed, turn on post notifications. Also remember to smash that like button, get some likes on this video. Alright, so let's go. So Christmas event coming up. For the opening round, everybody should have been qualified in the qualifying round. Qualifying round is fairly easy. The matches are fairly nice, so should be quite easy for everybody to get qualified. And you also have 3 days of qualifying, so if you don't make it on the first day, it's always good to go again the second and the third day to get qualified. So first race up in the opening round, where it all counts, is Australia. So we see for Australia, it's going to be 100% wet. So you're going to get wet qualifiers for Australia here. So what you can do is go through your driver lineup to see which is your best driver. For me here, like my driver lineup right here. Let me go to the driver lineup. So right here, this is my driver lineup. And if you look at like Lando Norris, he has just a little bit more wetness ability than Max Verstappen. However, Verstappen has a lot more stronger stats. So if you have a driver with like fairly equal in stats and they have the more wetness ability, then you want to switch out that driver with your Lewis Hamilton for that wet race to get the most of it. So for Australia wet, we see that speed and corners is going to be the preferred boost. Speed and corners with wet is going to be the preferred boost for Australia. So a boost that gives you speed and wetness is going to be the Hex. Is going to be a good boost. A boost like the Tune that gives you corners and wetness. A boost like the Exception gives you speed and wetness. The Samba also gives you speed and wetness, so it should do good for Australia. So any boost that gives you speed and wetness or corners and wetness is the boost that you want to go for your 100% wet race in Australia. All right. Next up, let me see which track is next up. Ooh, come on, guys. All right, so next up it's going to be France. 25% chance of rain for France. So when we look at France on the boost guide, we see corners and grip if it's dry, and if it's wet we see speed and corners. All right, so if you have a wet France, the same boost that you use at wet Australia can be used at wet France. Majority of the wet races kind of requires speed and corners, majority of them. So speed and corners will work for France if it's wet, and corners and grip will work for France if it's dry. If it's a mixed race, depends on where the wetness is coming in. If you have like one sun, then you have the wet in the middle, and then you have like a cloudy behind, then you probably could go for like a boost that gives you wet, that gives you good speed and wet, like the Hex boost. All right, and then you go for this boost that gives you corners and wet will also work good. So you get a good kickoff at the start, you get a good run in the dry, as corners and grip is required in the dry, so that will give you a good dry run leading up to the wets. All right, so next track up is going to be Austria, and for Austria we see, let me look if it's Austria here. Yeah, it's Austria. I have it written down. So next track up is Austria, and for Austria we see that corners and speed is going to be the thing for Austria. So any boost that gives you high corners and high speed is going to be good. A boost like the Kawhi, pretty good for Austria right there. Dead fast, that gives you speed, pretty good. Corners, the SAR, but I would prefer using the SAR for wet races instead of using it for dry races. And then we see Gladiator giving good speed there. Lumberjack speed there. Skull, high corners. Alright, so another thing that I can mention to you guys, this is a little pro tip. Like whenever you see a track requires like speed and corners, and you have a boost like with one attribute at 5, that boost is going to be stronger than another boost with an attribute of 4. Alright, so in terms of speed and corners, the skull boost right here with 5 corners will be faster than the lumberjack with 4 speed. Alright, because you're getting a higher gain from this boost than you'll be getting from the lumberjack. So any boost with that red icon there, which is 5, of the category that you're looking for, or the tier that you're looking for, is pretty good for that track. You get the most from those boosts. All right, this is why Boost Slightly Dead Fast is so fast, because it gives you 5 speed. So a Boost Slightly Dead Fast, and then you could come back to the Skull Boost for Austria. Pretty strong. All right, UK coming up. We see corner and speed coming up for the UK, which is the next one. So the same boost that you use at Austria, you can come back around and use for the UK. All right, Belgium coming up next. We have 29% chance of rain for Belgium, and we see speed and corners playing a strong role at Belgium in the wets, or if it's dry. So if it's dry, you could go for like the exception for the speed, and then you could come back again and go for like the skull for the corners, and that would give you a maximum of +10, which is really nice. And if it's wet, then you can switch now for wet boost that gives you speed and corners. So a boost like the tune right here will be nice. A boost like the hex right here that also gives you +5, if you didn't know, because it's 5 overtaking, 4 speed, and 1 wetness ability, so that's +5. Will work really well in the wets. All right, our next track up is going to be Japan. Japan, Canada, and the UAE is the last 3 tracks, and for those 3 tracks we see where corners and grip is going to be the feature for those tracks. They're all going to be dry, so there won't be any rain, so you don't need to mix it in. So corners and grip is going to be the high feature for those tracks. So a track like the Eagle that gives you 4 grip, or unless you have a boost. Let me see if there's a boost that gives you 5 grip. Yeah, I think the Reindeer boost gives you 5 grip, and I think the Reindeer boost is the featured boost of the event. There it is, Reindeer gives you 5 grip. However, though it gives you 5 grip, it's only giving you +8 if you look into it, because it's 2 wetness and 1 defense, so it's +8 and not higher than that. So if you could get up to +10, and that's nice. So +10 is the maximum you could get. The next maximum you could get is +9 or +8. As you can see here, the pretzel is basically +9 right there, though it's kind of a waste for +9 to be a waste, but yeah, it is what it is. All right, so that's basically it for this video. For the last 3 tracks, corners and grip will work nice. So a boost like the Taurus here that gives you some corners, especially with that tire management. Boost with the Eagle that gives you some grip, especially with that tire management, is really nice. Boost like the Eternal Flame that gives you that corners, that grip with a little bit of tire management. Pretty good for those tracks, Japan, Canada, and the UAE. All right, so that's basically going to be it for this one. I know a lot of people don't really watch these videos, but for those of you who do watch these videos, I hope these videos help. Remember to smash that like button, and that's basically going to be it for this one. Use code word Red Bull down below to let me know that you made it to this portion of the video. Really appreciate you guys watching full videos, for all your support, and that's basically going to be it for this one. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. Well, good guys. Bye.
Shout out to Marco Pedrana, Vid Mantis, Christopher Graves, Alfredo Jr., and Touch My Village.